This is the SNC podcast. My name is Shade Anozie. Today I am joined by talented music producer and audio engineer Focusramon. For those who are not familiar with the name Focusramon, he is behind the production and audio engineering of songs such as Mojid's Love Spell, Sir Dauda's Kalakuta, Eva's War Coming, Shodem Camp's BMW, Aramide's Yummy My Lover, to name a few. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. So what's up? How has your day been so far? What is with that sigh?
I'm sleeping on the bed for the first time in about a week, and I'm home. I'm home for the first time in over a week.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've practically been living at the studio.
Oh my god.
And yeah, dog life.
Yeah, I was about to say that studio life, man, it's quite hard. Thug life. That studio life, wow.
Yeah, I mean, what can I do? We chose the life, or the life chose us, or whatever.
Well, at least thank God for the salad break. Like you said, you got to be in your bed
right
for the first time in like a week. That's just good.
Yeah.
So have you been sleeping all day?
Thing is, I don't even really remember how to sleep much anymore.
Yeah.
So my body is wired to just do short periods now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And there's people that will be unhappy that I'm sleeping.
Sure. Yeah.
Or that I'm trying to get some sleep. Yeah, but I mean, me first, every now and then.
Yeah, because I've been seeing your Instagram comments sometimes, like,
oh my god,
where's my project? You're like, I'm coming. So,
man, I had to stop posting. Like, I don't even post so much. I never post so much, but now I have to even reduce, because every time, then there'll be like 10 people that remember, oh, I need to call this guy, I'm like, okay, everybody just chill, take it easy, one that's...
Yeah. I feel like,
but it's all good, man.
And I feel like I'm one of those people, I'm not gonna lie, like, whenever I reach out to someone, like, I email you or call you, and then I see you putting stuff on Instagram, so I'm like, really though, like, you have time, really, okay, so you need to, like, get back to me, so I can kind of empathize with both of you. But anywho, I'm glad that your day has been great so far. You've been able to sleep on your bed for the first time in like a week. That's crazy, but thank you for doing this. So I want to start off the interview by noting that I did talk about in the introduction that some people may not be familiar with your name, Focusramon, but there's actually a reason for that. And the reason is the fact that your production name used to be Tintin. Why are you talking in the background? And by the way, Tintin should ring a bell for people who have been following Eva Alodia's career, because so if you noticed, Tintin used to be her producer. So can you tell us why you chose to change your name from Tintin to Focusramon?
Okay, so I'm going to be asking you questions too.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that cool?
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, so which name is cooler?
Can I just no? Can I just say that I like because Tintin is cool, but Focusramon for me, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that switch, I was like, who is this person I'm following? I was like, but we think of seriously, it makes me Rafiki from The Lion King.
Oh yeah. He knows the way.
Yes, he knows the way. I love it. I love Focusramon. It makes me think of like words like an elder, peacefulness, vibey, like chakra, all these different cool words. I really, really like Focusramon. I really do.
Okay. It's been something that's been on my mind. I've been using Focusramon actually as my Twitter name for a while. Not my handle, just my name. Okay. And it was something that just came to me. It's a very long story how the name came about, but...
Give us a short version.
Okay, so I'm the most distracted person I've met, or the most distracted person you've met, or you've never met. I get distracted really easily, so I have to keep telling myself to focus all the time. And there used to be this Tintin cartoon. Yeah, my name was Tintin because I was a fan. I was a very big fan. And someone, for some reason, decided to call me that in uni. So it stuck. No, I fought it so it stuck. When you fight a name, it sticks.
Yeah.
So I fought it so it stuck. So yeah, when I got into production, I just decided to go with, that's what everybody knew me as. So I just went with it. But there was this cartoon, right, this episode where they used to tell, there was a Ramon there. In one of the Tintin episodes, there was a Ramon there, and they used to tell him to have patience, Ramon. So every time I tell myself to focus, when I start getting distracted, I'm always like, focus, Ramon. And then I just thought like, okay, this is actually not a bad name, Focus Ramon. So that's how that happened.
Oh.
I think you're the only person I've told this. I never told anyone this before. Like the name.
No, because like I said in the introduction, some people may not be familiar with your name, but that's not because people don't know you. It's because you switched your name from Tintin to Focusramon. So we're like, wait, who's Focusramon? So continue.
Yeah, I just thought it stood out more. And I mean, for Google's sake, you search Tintin, it's already an established franchise. I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult going up against that. This is like a 70 or more than 70-year-old franchise. Yeah. So I mean, if you know Tintin, you're seeing the cartoon. So I mean, I would rather own something. I mean, and copyright issues too, maybe down the line and stuff. Yeah, so just got that out of the way.
Okay, well, that's really cool. Seriously, when I was like, it makes me think, because I love Rafiki. I think he's just awesome. But I was like, oh my gosh, it makes me think of, like, he's like this really, elderly, grown person. But is it safe to say that, down the line, when you eventually become more successful, like, how we got, like, Puffy to Puff Daddy to P Diddy to that's not gonna happen time for you.
I don't think so. I think I'm home now. I'll just keep it like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you home because
I might actually do a legal name change. That's what might change.
Oh, okay. You might change
my actual birth government name.
Oh, yeah.
To Focusramon.
Really?
I just might.
I think your parents would be so happy about that, Yeah,
well, they're happy about everything I do, so they'll take that in stride too.
Focusramon, what's your passport name?
My passport name is Inka Olawoye.
Is what?
Inka Olawoye. I never tell anyone. I don't know I'm telling you.
Well, we have to know, like a passage of rights on this podcast. Like, we have to ask you your passport.
Oh, okay.
So we know you are Focusramon, but it's like, okay, so your name is Yinka what again?
Olawoye.
So you see, Google is actually not the answer to everything, because I searched high and low, and somehow, it's like, okay, yeah, Babatunde Mo, yeah, okay, whatever.
Oh, wow, that's what you came up with? Yeah. Wow. I have people trying to be me.
If I had to win $1 million, I would just like lose because I had the wrong name.
Wow.
But
I see you, Babatunde. Keep it up.
So Yinka, so you talked about your passport name is Yinka. Can you tell us how you got into music? Talk about your background real briefly for people who would like to know more about that. I would like to know more about that. So can you just talk to us a bit about your background?
I didn't have much of a musical background, to be honest. My dad was a very massive music lover. He had tons and tons and tons of tapes back then. And somehow there was always music playing in the house, And then I think with time though that went down. I think he just got involved in other things. I mean, life, being a father and all of that stuff. So the music part kind of went down. And I don't come from a musical family at all. Extended family on both sides. There's nobody doing anything close to entertainment. So I think I was just naturally inclined to it because I would always go and get the tapes myself. When maybe I would be home alone or something, I'll go pick up the tapes and start listening to. But my dad really liked jazz. He really liked jazz. So I would just always listen to the tapes, and somehow on the line, I just really got interested in music. I never thought I would produce or get into it in any way. And so I was always listening to music. When I got older, I was always buying CDs. When I got even older, I started downloading a lot of music. So it was just love for it. It was just love. I would listen in depth, listen to every instrument, listen to every word, listen to every line, the melodies and stuff. I didn't know what they were called, but I was always listening very intently. And so when I got into uni, I heard about Fruity Loops. That's what they called it then. And I kind of got, even before that, I started messing with some music synthesizer on some old Windows computer back then. Long story short, I got into it at uni when I got into uni, and I found I was okay, not bad at this, you know. I mean, I was doing some fairly decent for a 15-year-old and fairly decent stuff, and people liked the little things I was doing. And then I stumbled on a mag one day. It's no longer in print. Scratch magazine. It was a DJ slash producer magazine from the early mid 2000s, and so like that was the first time ever that I knew what record producers did. We broke down everything, their gear, interviews with producers, all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is an entire field. Like, there's people that do this for a living. And it blew my mind. And at that moment, I just knew, like, hell yeah, this is what I'm going to do. This is it. And I like gear. I was reading computer science. I used to build computers then. I'm a bit of a tech geek. So seeing all that gear, all the cables, all the wires, and all of that stuff, I'm like, okay, this really looks interesting. So, I decided to go into it full time as soon as I left uni.
Okay, well, that's so cool. So, couple other questions tied to that. You didn't study or take any music classes in secondary school, no?
No, I did not. Absolutely not. I begged my dad to let me play guitar when I was younger. I was enthralled by the guitar. There was a guitarist in my church, and it was, I don't know, I was always in love with everything he was doing. And I don't know, I just don't think they took me serious enough. I kept telling my dad I wanted to learn. I would go meet the guy, the guitarist, and he would tell me to tell my dad, like, okay, these are the things you need to buy and this and that. But I was always just dismissed, And then I just lost interest in that. But after I started, one thing I would like to say, I'm entirely self-taught.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I had to learn everything by myself. I like to read though, so it wasn't so difficult. So I would always go and look for books, go online and look at videos and learn. I like to learn too. So it's no formal music education as such.
Wow.
Just off the internet and books.
That's super. So it's like, I was interviewing someone, I think it was Phils, and he was saying that, a lot of the things that he's learned over time came from YouTube. So again, he was trying to emphasize the fact that YouTube is a portal of information if you use it wisely, so.
The internet is massive. It's a game changer. There's nothing in the world that you can't learn if you really put your mind to it. There is no distance, there is no absence of teachers, or there's no one in your area doing that kind of thing, so you think you can't learn. As long as you have the internet, you can do anything, you can learn anything.
Sure, that's true. So what school did you go to? Or did you have
wow. Okay, interesting.
Why you like, uncle? This is not FBI things now, eh?
I know. For some reason, I never say a lot of personal stuff to people. I don't know why. I think I'm just a bit of.
Yeah.
Oh well, so I went to ISL.
Oh, see all these people. Yeah. The difference between like all the people on my phone, and I don't really tell people.
Wow, really? I was not an Najibota school. It was just
I kind of feel like it was. Maybe, maybe that's me trying to make you feel better, but it's fine.
That was them, range and them, that's and AIS and them, Yeah, we just read kids.
Okay, and then but what about university? What uni did you attend?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you that one now. I'm sorry, but
how do you not don't even know that? How do you not know?
If you know it, please keep it to yourself.
Okay, fine. All right. I will do you that favor.
Okay, I'll tell them so they don't crucify me. I went to Covenant first.
I'm like, seriously,
to Covenant. I don't really roll with y'all, but God bless you guys. I haven't even got my certificate, man.
Wow,
I graduated ages.
How shade is that? You graduated ages ago, and you haven't picked up your certificate.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't really. Let's not talk about covering that.
Okay. Keep it moving then. All right. So you dabble in, not you dabble, you have two different aspects of your artistry. You have production and you have audio engineering.
Yeah.
So I want to know which came first. Is it the production? Because I think you said the production, but you also, like I said, you mix and you master. So talk to us about which came first and why you thought that it was important that you wanted to add either or to your repertoire as a producer or a mixing and mastering engineer.
Okay, so about that, production came first.
Okay.
Naturally, production is still what I consider my yeah, that's what I love to do more than anything else in the world. So I got into production. I like to experiment. I don't like limits. I don't like rules. I don't like, oh, this is how you're supposed to do this. Maybe that came because I had to learn everything myself. So I always try to find out how this happens. So I never had anyone telling me you have to do things like this. But long story short, so because of the fact that I like to experiment a lot with music, I was never able to get someone that could mix my stuff, the way I wanted it to sound. Okay, so maybe I recorded guitars, right? And I wanted them to sound like Hendrix or like Santana. There were not many people here that were listening to that type of music, so they wouldn't know what to do. You feel me? They wouldn't know what to do to get me that sound I wanted. So I had to learn these things by myself. So that's where the mixing thing came from. So it was never a thing where I thought I would do it professionally. It was never a conscious thing where I thought, oh, I want to get good at mixing, so I can mix for people. It just came for my own self, for records that I make. I want my kicks, my snare sound in a certain way. I want my vocals. I want this type of reverb. That's not what everybody's doing, but that's what I want. So I had to go learn those things by myself. And it was just little incremental knowledge. There was never a point where I felt like, oh, I'm going to learn mixing and mastering for the next 6 months. It was just, okay, how do I get this type of reverb? How do I get that Daft Punk effect on this thing? So you go on the internet, you search and you search and you search. So over time, gradually, I got really good at it. And if I do say so myself, I got good at it. And people would hear stuff that I did, that I produced, and they'd be like, oh, who mixed that record? And I'm like, I mixed it myself. I'm like, oh, Finn. And then, okay, maybe 2 weeks later, they call you and they're like, oh, I have this song I want you to mix for me. I'm like, okay, well, it's like that now. So somehow I started doing it, and word of mouth referrals and stuff. And then it became for the last year or so, it's been what I've been doing more than anything else. So I kind of took a break from production, and I've been doing more mixing and mastering now. Yeah.
I'll get to the mixing and mastering because I have some other questions for you. But for people who may be wondering the types of the sorts of tracks that excuse me. What kind of cough is this? The kinds of tracks the tracks that he's mixed and mastered. He's mixed and mastered Dami Crane's most recent single Prayer. You have Ami and In Case of Incasity, right?
Yeah, for them.
Yeah, he's done Layo Isaac, Now Wish. He's done Fowles' Something Light, Reminisces, new single Bomile. I hope I pronounced that properly. A couple of songs. Sees the first wave EP, Sion Moruda's I remix. He actually mixed that. He's done mix and mastered Fowles' Baby Boy, Fowles' Redonsa, Aramide's Suitcase album, Shady's album Rhythm and Life, Lynx's sophomore album, the album before the album, Fowles' Baddest, Celebrity Girlfriend, Stories That Touch, Fowles' album, and Eva's Deaf and Dumb, to name a few. That's just me trying to make it short. So he's done.
A lot.
Yeah,
wow, I've been putting in work, man, and I don't even give myself credit.
Yes, but that's one of the I want people to know more about the people behind the scenes. Because a lot of times what we just see is the artist, which is fine. But for me, I really, really am very passionate about the creation process about when it comes to music. So I'm just always drawn to producers and engineers. So that's the point of us asking you all these questions, like what school you went to, compared to like you trying to shade us. But so good remind you the way you get. So in terms of mixing and mastering, I wanted to know, are you the kind of engineer who likes to mix by himself, or you like people around you?
I never like people around me, ever. I don't know.
Wait, what?
I just rather be alone all the time. Well, most of the time. I like my company. I love myself. I'm amazing, man. Well, I don't need people around. like
When I
that.
say when I know, so when I mean people around you, as an engineer, like you're trying to, obviously I'm not telling you a job, but just me being around that field, like some engineers want to hear certain instruments come out more than others, and sometimes the people in the studio with you, you can't hear that because they're talking or they're like on their
Oh yeah.
phone. So
Okay, so when generally when I'm as long as I'm not recording an artist, right? I would most rather be in the studio by myself, cause of how my mind works. I like to try stuff, like I said earlier, So no matter how stupid it seems, I might just get the randomest idea ever, and I'm like, you know what? Let me try this effect on this vocal. I don't want someone telling me no. I don't want an artist there telling me no, don't do this before I've even tried it. How do you know it's not going to work out? So most of the time, as much as it's possible, I would much rather be in the studio by myself, lights off, and just me and the sound and God. But usually what happens is when I send you a mix, then you can tell me, okay, I want more of this and I want less of that. And if it makes sense, I'll go ahead and do it. If it doesn't, I'll tell you, I'm not very sure that's a good idea. If you insist, I'll give you exactly what you want. So that's how that works for me.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Which kind of leads me to my next question. I was watching Young Guru talk about, they were interviewing him about his process as an engineer for artists such as Jay-Z and all these different talented artists. And he talks about, as an engineer that he has come to learn that, seriously, I don't know what this cough is, but, excuse me. That was a laugh. Nigerians. Okay. But he said that not over time, not only has he come to learn that, not only do you have to deliver a finished product, but you also find that engineers have to sometimes play this A&R role when it comes to working with people. Is that the same thing that you've come to learn over time?
Production and engineering are, to me, half psychology. As a producer, half the time you're playing psychologist. You're being a shrink. You're trying to understand what this person really wants, because most of the time, the artist or whoever you're dealing with, the label, or they don't really, and that's not a bad thing. They're not technically inclined most of the time, so they can't tell you exactly what they want. They know they have a vision of what they want, but they're not entirely able to express it to you in the terms that you would, in your work terms. So you need to get inside their minds and bring that out. You need to get inside them and, find out exactly what it is they are trying to achieve. And then even apart from that, you need to know who you're working with. You need to know what they like. There's certain artists that like, if the beat is minimal, that's what attracts them. If it has a lot of instruments, then they'll be thrown off. For some of them, I mean, when it comes to mixing now, some like, they like a lot of reverb. They like the vocals swimming in this big sea of space. And some of them just like it dry and in your face. So you need to know, they might not tell you these things particularly, but you need to mine that information, if I can use that word. You need to get those things out of them and know what works for each person. So when it comes to production or mixing or mastering or whatever, you need to know what people like, what attracts them within the confines of possibility. You can't just say, this is what that person wants, and if it's not going to sound good, you have responsibility to let them know that this, probably will not work. But so half the time you're being a shrink and learning the artists, learning what they are or who they are, what they represent, what they're trying to achieve with the music, because that affects how you work. That affects what you do with their sound.
Very true. That's very true. It's consistent with, just my experience and just hearing other people speak about that as well. I'm still sticking with mixing and mastering. I wanted to find out that how do you go about, because there may be someone who may be listening and who wants to know how does Focusramon go about deciding whether the drums should drive the song or whether the drums should be relegated to the background. So how do you go about deciding what instruments should be more pronounced and what instruments should go to the background?
Okay, so for me, and the way everybody works different, but for me personally, I just go. I have no templates or preferred work. A lot of times, depending on the sound, but a lot of times I start with the drums. I start with the drums because a lot of our artists, they like the drums kicking, tear that club up. So, but a lot of times also I could start with anything else, depending on what catches my attention first in the track. So, I have a reference. I usually ask for a reference track, but I don't listen to the reference sometimes until I've gone like 80% into the mix, and then I go listen to your reference. And that's just because I don't want any, I just like to go where my mind goes. I've come to trust my mind and my ears, So I like to just go where they lead me. So if I feel like for some reason I want to bring the kick or make the kick sound a certain way, I'll just go ahead and do it. Or if I want the vocals to sound, or this word on the vocal should have some distortion, I'll just go ahead and do it. And then when I'm done with that, when I got the mix up to a really nice place where I think I like it, and so I go and listen to the reference, and the reference track is just like an idea of what the artist or producer wants the track to sound like. So I go and I listen to the reference, and I see where, okay, if I went too far away on some parts, maybe I went too far away from the reference, I could try to tone down some of the extra stuff I did. Other times, if I really, really believe in those things that I did, I think they're really great ideas, I'll do two versions. So I could deliver two versions of a mix, one with all my ideas and one that's closer to what was requested. And here's the thing, like 90% of the time, what gets picked is the stuff I did, like the stuff with all of my ideas. So I think I'm doing something right.
Just testament to your ears. Which is that's pretty cool. I had a question, but then you kind of threw me off with your praise for yourself. But it's all good. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you. Sorry, I'm gonna ask you. What if the artist or the producer doesn't have a reference track? Is a reference track important, or is it something that is just if it's there, then it's there, but it doesn't have you don't need to have one?
Okay. No, you don't need to have one. It's just cool when sometimes there's artists that are looking for a particular sound. They want the track to sound a certain way. So that's when a reference is important. It doesn't even have to be a reference of that song. It could be another song. I usually like to ask, what songs do you like? What songs do you like the mix of?
Okay.
So but then there's other artists or clients could just give you the freedom to do whatever it is you want. It depends on the type of relationship that you've built with. So there's people that just trust me explicitly, like, yo, do anything you want and I know it's going to come out good. And there's people that will be like, okay, yeah, do you, but there's some specific things that I want in this mix. So in those cases a reference might be important, so you have an audible representation of what the artist wants, rather than them just telling you this is it in words.
Okay, so now let's move on to the production aspect, right? Your repertoire. I wanted to find out, how did you go about honing your musical identity and sound as a producer?
Okay, I'm going to give a very it might be an uninteresting type answer, but it's the truth. I spend all my time working. I spend all my time, or most of my time, in the studio, because I actually really love to do what I do. So I think over time, if you do something every time, all the time, you're gonna get good at it. There is no way in the world you won't get good at it. So that's the simplest way for me. I just spend so much time, and the more you spend time on stuff, the more you learn about. Apart from what you're learning about the thing that you're doing, you're learning about yourself. You're learning about what drives you, or I mean, what attracts you sound-wise now, I mean. So, I already know, okay, sounds like this, I gravitate towards stuff like this, or I'm influenced by stuff like this and stuff like that and stuff like that. And so how about I just bring all three of these things together and make one thing, and I make that one thing and it sounds beautiful. I'm like, okay, let me try some more of this thing. And you do that thing, and then, it's just being in a place where you're able to continually do the work. Yeah, I think your skills get sharper just by doing that.
Now, some of your musical influences, based on, you can correct me if I'm wrong, since you corrected me about your name, so I may be wrong. Your musical interest, is it true that you like grunge and alternative rock? Is that true?
I like rock of all kinds. I'm not entirely a rockhead. I was a rockhead at some point in my life when I was in uni for like a year or so, but I wouldn't call myself I don't know everything about the scene anymore. There's just a few bands that I really love, and yeah.
And one of those bands is safe to say is Nirvana, right?
Absolutely.
Yay! A+ for me. Well, you got one question right. And it's the Nevermind album, right?
Have I talked about that before?
No, you haven't. But
So how do you know that?
because somehow I missed my calling of being in the CIA and the FBI.
Oh,
it's all good.
Exactly.
So can you just talk about some of the songs spoke to you as just maybe as a producer, just growing up? I feel like for everyone who really, I guess, likes rock would probably say Smells Like Teen Spirit, right?
Yo, I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry, but that's all. That's what it is. Smells Like Teen Spirit is... And here's the thing, I don't even understand the song, to be honest. Like, I don't understand the message or the theme, but there's something about... Wow, I'm trying to find the words to use. So there's something about freedom, right? There's something about freedom, artistic freedom, and that's what I get from Nirvana. There's a... Wow. This is difficult to explain. I don't really like to talk about music because I never find words to use.
No, it's fine. You have all the time.
Okay, so it's okay, so I'll say Kurt Cobain, Mavado, Bob Marley. There are a few people that you feel what they feel. You might not necessarily understand the language or the thoughts or something, but there's something in the way they put it out that you just connect with. And that's what that does for me. That's the same feeling I get from listening to Santana when he plays guitar. He's not saying anything, right? He's not speaking a language, but you can tell or you can feel something from that. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's exactly what Nevermind. Almost all of the songs are Nevermind, but Smells Like Teen Spirit especially. I think that's why it got so popular. There's something in Cobain that's just, I don't know, man. You can just connect to it for some reason. You can just really, really connect, and it's different from other rock bands in that. Okay, no, let's not go into this.
It's okay. Okay, so so you like Nirvana, you like Nevermind, you really like Smells Like Teen Spirit, even though you may not really get the message. Which if I remember clearly, I thought that the message was about teenage angst and I guess being angry at the system and just maybe like going through depression, all these different emotions that I guess he was feeling at the time. If I'm right, people can correct me, because we have all the music people who have yeah. I'm not trying to act like I'm the sensei on Nirvana, but if I remember correctly, that's kind of what it was. But you also like Prince, right?
I like Prince. I like Prince more as a I like the funk side of Prince, I would say, more than the other stuff. But I like Prince especially because of like I said, it's the freedom, man. When an artist is free to express with no no, can I curse? No.
Yeah,
With
go ahead.
no anything to give. When you're just able to be yourself as an artist. Because I think that's the one responsibility an artist has, to express. That's your calling, is to express. So if you feel like wearing platform boots, then go ahead and do it. If you feel like having all these colors and stuff, if you feel like having your guitar looking a certain way, then go ahead and do it, because it's not the bankers that are going to do that. It's the artists that are here to express. So that's one of the reasons why I really like Prince. And then also because Prince is a musical genius, man. He I believe in if you're doing something, you should know it. You should learn as much as you can about it. And Prince was a master musician. So when I listen to Prince, the level of detail, the level of depth, everything is mind blowing. It's really, really mind blowing. So that's what Prince is for me. The freedom and the what's the mastery. The mastery.
Yeah, Prince is awesome. And then just two more artists if I go back to production that you like.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm so happy that you love her because she's amazing. Sade
Oh,
is
man. I would wife her today. Still.
I would wife her myself. Sade
No,
is awesome.
I think she's a goddess. I don't think she's human. I honestly don't think she's human. Yeah, I think she's what's that thing? Gaia or something. I think that's her. She's just watching us. She's watching over us all.
I'm like, Lord, it feels like some people, like, you spend extra time on them, and it's like, what happened to me? Like,
But you're amazing, man.
Go ahead.
I say you're amazing.
No, of course. I'm just saying, people like Sade, like, you just like say, wow, like you said, she's just awesome, and it's just No, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
I don't know how people become like that. I want to be like that.
I know, me too.
Every way, in every single way, in music, in looks, in everything about her is just amazing.
It is. And then quickly, you also like Jimi Hendrix and Bob Marley.
Oh my God. And who?
Bob Marley.
Oh yes, I love Bob Marley. If you get into my studio, there's a big poster of Hendrix on the wall. Hendrix is my I would say, I don't know, but that's my, I think that's one of my number one artists of all time.
And what is it about him that just speaks to you?
Not giving a fuck and mastery. Yeah.
No. I mean, I feel like that's kind of like.
I think those are the things that I respect the most. So even if I don't really mess with your music, the fact that that's like okay. So I know a lot of people have stuff to say about a lot of the so-called mumble rappers. I'm sorry if I'm digressing.
Oh no, please go ahead.
So you have people talking down on Uzi Vert and and Designer and all these guys.
Yachty.
And for me it's like, yo, can you let these guys live? Because they're artists. They are supposed to express. That's the only thing that artists are supposed to do. You're supposed to express. You're not supposed to pander or look at that Designer.
Pun intended, I know, right? I look at you.
Yo, I was built for this. So if Designer wants to let him do it. Is who's going to do that? Your preacher. Let the artist be the artist. I mean, they're bringing color and light and fun into the world, and so I think I just really respect people that are able to say, fuck what everybody thinks. This is how I want to express. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to sound. And then they go ahead and do it, because it takes a lot of balls. So you don't have to like the music, but you should respect what these guys are doing, because it's not really easy, man. Everybody looks at you like you're a crazy person, and you still go ahead. You go outside and still do that crazy shit. That's not easy, man. I think we should vote one of these guys as president one day.
I know about that one, but okay. But okay, just two things. I agree with you about the whole because I feel like for me the first time it's like I think like three things I have to talk about that. So one is I agree with you about designer. Like for me when I heard Panda, I
Yeah.
knew it was going to be a jam because it was the delivery, it was the way he was saying what he was saying. It was like I couldn't hear what he was saying because he raps really
Yeah.
fast. But it was the way he went about it. You know, like I was watching it in Wild and they were asking him like, he was like, when I heard that song, I knew it was He said it was the way he was like, I got brothers in Atlanta. So he's like, he knew that, it was going
Yeah.
to be a hit. And it was also Despacito. I'm like, I can't really understand people who hate that song. I'm
Man.
like, you heard the production on that song. Have you even? The song is amazing, So I don't know. Like, there's certain people that is like, yeah, but which I guess brings me to my third point is that maybe the reason why some people have issues with like so-called mumble rap is the fact that maybe they feel like what it means to be an artist has been diluted because look at some of your influences and interests. You like Sade, you like
Oh, yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, you like Bob Marley. If
Yeah.
you know this to these mumble rap artists according to society, but some
Yeah.
people would say that you can't really compare them and in terms of longevity. Like
Okay.
they will ask, do you really think that a designer is going to have a um I guess long lasting career like Sade. And I don't know that I'm just saying like maybe that's their
Okay.
own
Yeah.
fault. That's
Okay.
kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, why does everything have to be held to the same standards? Why does every
Mm,
artist have to have a 40-year stretch? Not
mm,
every spoon is the finest silverware. You have disposable spoons too, and they're functional, right? You
yeah.
have fast food and then you have fine dining. It
Mm,
doesn't make one better than the other, you know. If this is how they choose to express, then let them live. They don't have to be here forever. I don't like all of I can't stand, let me not mention who, but there's a few I really like. There's a few of them I really, really like for some reason. I like Young Thug so much. And but there's other ones that I can't stand. I'm just getting into Savage now. I didn't really like
okay.
Savage, but I
Yeah.
am just getting into him now. I really like Uzi though. I really love Uzi. But then see, on the other hand, you see me blasting Common and Talib and all of those guys and Joey Badass and everyone. So like I just feel like I mean it's music. Not everybody should or can have
Yeah.
the same type of career, the same type of sound, the same type of influences, the same type of depth. Not everybody can be a lyrical rapper like that, but can you rage like Uzi? You can't. You could be the hardest, you can have the hardest puns and the hardest lyrics. But can you kill a show like Uzi? Can you dress like that, like a clown, and make it look good? So there's space for everything. There's space for everyone. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Kind of echoes the sentiment because I interviewed music critic and rap head who is Tunde, and he
Okay.
said exactly the same thing that you said, that there is room for when it comes to rap. We don't have to
Yeah.
say that, oh, this person is should not be in the rap category
Yeah.
or should
Yeah.
not be in the rap industry, because there's room for everybody to express their
Yeah.
artistry. So
Yeah.
um okay, well, I'm glad that we made that little diversion just to bring us back to production. I wanted to know what producers you looked up to when you said, okay, I want to make a career.
Quincy Jones. Best to ever do it. Yeah, that's my daddy. I think I know everything about Quincy Jones. I've read every book about Quincy Jones. I've watched every Quincy Jones interview. I've, I, I, I want to marry one of his daughters too, just to get closer to him.
All these views are because you say you're hearing that, like there's X and X on Focusramon. So yeah, but what is it about Quincy in particular that is just? I mean, we all know his talent for days, but what is it? Can you if you could pinpoint one thing, what would you say is like just?
Wow. Okay. I think Quincy came from Michael Jackson. I am a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Okay.
And so naturally getting into production, I was interested in who made those records, and then I found out it was Quincy Jones. And so yeah, starting to read about him and learn stuff, and he's done it all, man. I think he's done it all. There's nothing left on every side, from jazz to pop to R&B to everything to hip hop. He was one of the pioneers. That's the weird thing. This man is 80 something years old now and still cooler than so many 20-year-olds. So I don't want to, let's not go too deep into Quincy, but I think he's amazing. He's never been scared to buck the trend. If he saw something, identified something that was coming up, and everyone was dismissive of it, like these mumble rappers now, he always got with change. He made the Michael Jackson records when he was in his 40s, So, and he came from a jazz background, toured the world with a jazz band, was a trumpeter, and making that switch into pop music that blew the entire world away. That's something. So I really like that about Quincy. And then I was talking about Pharrell too. Pharrell is one of the people I respect ever in the world, because he's so versatile. Pharrell is one of the most, I think he's the most versatile producer I know. And I think being versatile is not just being able to do to do stuff in different areas or different sounds, but to be able to kill them, like you destroy it. Like there is no doubt that this was done by a professional. So Pharrell goes from producing that space sound from the 90s with Mace and what's that Mace song? Looking at Me. And then you do all of that Khalif stuff, and then you do all of the click stuff.
Pharrell did Looking at Me.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my gosh, how did I?
Yeah,
wow.
Listen to that. Listen to Hit the Freeway. You see the similarities.
Oh my gosh, I never knew that.
And then he goes on to do Sweet Life by Frank Ocean. Like, how do you do Sweet Life? That's just And then he goes on to do Happy, and the next thing. He can do anything in the world. It's just so amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's true. He can sing as well. I think the record for me that put me onto Pharrell was honestly Khalees's Khalees as an artist. I think he definitely produced
he did most of her stuff.
Most of her stuff, yeah. But the song that I grew up listening to, what's that song that she was screaming? That she used something about hate
you so much.
Yeah,
right now.
I hate you so much right now. Thank you. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. So that's super. That's really awesome. Have you heard his new song with Noriega?
Uno Mas. I just heard a snippet of it.
Yeah, you should listen to it. I'm gonna ask you what you think about it. So,
okay. I was thinking though. Okay. I think he's on some Latin wave right now. Because his song with 2 Chainz, or the song he produced, which I don't know if he produced it, but he was featured on it, Bailan.
I haven't heard
that. I think it sounded like the Noriega one.
Yeah. Because I thought I had a Latin/African vibe. That's what I was asking. So, kind of goes back to...
Oh, everyone is coming to Africa now.
I know. And, it kind of speaks to how people are saying that we need to protect our sound and all these different things. Like,
Yeah. Unfortunately, let's move on.
Okay. I wanted to get to your production as well. So for people who may be wondering the different tracks that Focusramon has produced, he's produced Majid's Love Spell. He did Show Them Camp's Baby Making Weather, BMW. He did Sir Dauda's Kalakuta, which I'm going to talk about because that song is just amazing. You produced off Aramide's Suitcase album. You did Why So Serious. You had Yummy My Lover. You had Stranger in Rome. You had Love Me, which she featured Adekunle Gold. You also produced Eva's Kanayo, War Coming, her EP. You've done Slim T's Legotians. You've done Damage.
Wow.
You forgot about that.
I forgot about that one, yeah.
You've done Dami Crane's Le Baton. You've done Kel's Give It To Me. You've done Pope's Enjoy. You did Eva's Geigo EP Down Low on Your Father and her 1960 album, which you produced alongside Grey Jones. So, and that's just a few of the stuff that you produced. I just couldn't write everything down. But, you've done, if I say you've done some stuff for yourself, So that's pretty awesome. Now, like I said, I want to talk about Kalakuta. And before I go to Kalakuta, of all these different artists, like I said, you work with Eva Alodia for the majority of her career. I wanted to know, what is it about Eva that allows you to work so well with her?
Oh, that. Yeah.
Why are you chuckling? Is Eva a troublemaker?
Yeah. Look, like Eva's like, wow. I don't know. I think because of the fact that Eva is like my brother, if I could say that.
Mm-hmm.
We're outside of music, she's my bro, like my bro, So I think naturally it just made it really easy. She was always at the studio every time, and then we would go hang out after, and it was just always. And I think what made it easy is the fact that Eva listens. Yeah, Eva listens. Not a lot of artists listen, or a few artists don't listen, but she does listen. Like she, I think that's a great thing. I think I'm a collaborative person, So I like to work with ideas from people that I trust. If I trust your judgment, I would take your. So if I feel a certain way about the song, or okay, no, let's do this verse this way, if she trusts my judgment and I trust her judgment, and if she thinks it's a good idea, she'll go ahead and do it, so no egos, no nothing. So it was always easy to bring the best out, So if I have to record the verse, or I feel like, okay, no, you need to do this harder, you need to do this, or even if it's just a beat, and I play it for her, I'm like, you need to jump on this, and she's like, I don't have anything, I can't get anything, and I just insist. I'm like, you will kill this if you do. Okay, you could try this type of flow, and she would actually try, and then she would even take it to levels I didn't even expect. So I think we just had a very, very great personal and working relationship. Still do. Yeah.
She said, focus on the mission, know the seasons and the times. Cause that is more than probable when the ship move with the blind. So listen, brother, better run for cover. Hey, sister, I've been trying to reach ya. Can't you hear the thunder in the sky? Don't you see the fire in my eyes?
I see a word coming. There's a war coming. I see a word coming. I better run 1, 2, get ready go. See you telling your 1, 2, and your man said ready go. Get ready go.
So them start running. See the war coming. Start running. See the war coming.
These are the times and the days. The town sharper than 1,000 blades. You offer lies all the way, but you seek truth and abundant grace. Do you mean all the things that you say when the nouns and the verbs come out to play? A pretty smile, but a heart filled with hate. Another disguise like the tears on your face. And people keep on telling me that you are here to stay, but you run and let it burn. Decide to fall when it's your time. It's time you better know this is your world coming. The fight from your soul, they keep your heartbeat drumming. Would you keep on running, straight no turning? Or would you turn around and fight this war that's coming? I see a word coming.
There's a war coming.
I see a word coming.
And then speaking speaking of Sir Dauda and Shodem Camp, I wanted to know what it was like working with them in the studio and how you even got to meet them.
Sir Dauda. Oh, see, this is the funny thing about Shodem Camp, right? I think I did a Shodem Camp reached out to me.
Okay.
Not long after we dropped the what was that Eva's EP?
Is it
Her second Geigo one.
Geigo, it wasn't Geigo EP.
I think it's the Eva EP. I think that's the name.
Okay, the Eva EP.
This one, 1960. Yeah.
Okay.
So so I produced and mixed all the songs on that. So I think they heard that and then reached out to me. That was Show Them Camp. And we did a few tracks together. We actually did BMW a long time before it came out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so that was cool working with them. We did that. I think we did about 2 other songs, which we never finished or which never got released for some reason. But it was great. It was a great experience. Sir Dauda is someone I've been working with very, very closely for a while. We have a load of songs together. Sir Dauda is actually, wow. Sir Dauda is amazing. Like, it's scary for me how great, how deep the level of his talent is. I think, those people that come once every generation, right? Yeah, I think he's actually, I can't wait for his stuff to start coming out. Like, he's been working on putting stuff out. And when the stuff starts coming out, I think a lot of people are going to understand he's actually not one of us, man. He's a very, 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 very great artist. Very, very great. Yeah. So Kalakuta, he played that. It was a song he had written. He plays guitar, Yeah. Play that to me acoustic. And what usually happens is I just get like a rough vibe, and I just get like a rough vocal. I get the chords of what he's playing, and I just run with it from there. I think that was usually the same process for Eva on some songs, but so that just came about. I don't even know how to say, but he's always in the studio as well. So, these things just happen in bits and pieces. Or we work on one verse today, we move to another song, and then next week in the studio we edit that verse, we record. I think we recorded Kalakuta a bunch of times, man. Dauda likes to record and change stuff. But as long as the result comes out good, we can't complain.
Yeah. Okay, because where the first time I saw him performing that song acoustically was on YouTube. Apparently it was in 2012, and he was.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that was the first time I saw it though. So yeah, because based on what I saw, it was in 2012, and it was I think he was at the Allen Pro Studio. He was performing for I think maybe it was an audience or a couple of his friends, but that was the first time I saw him performing that song. So for me, I wanted to find, like you said, like when he reached out to you, you got to work with Sir Dauda, and he said you work with the chords and stuff like that. What was it? Because he said he plays the guitar, but sometimes you hear songs you hear people say, oh, the song originally had guitars, but we decided that wasn't going to work well. So what was it that made you say, I want the guitar to drive the song?
It's funny because the guitars on the song were from the rough me, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't what he played. I just chopped them up like samples. It was a normal strumming. It was a strumming rhythm, the regular up down stroke guitar strum, and I just chopped that up. I don't know why. To be honest, it's very tough for me to explain why I do what I do. I just go with how I feel at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in fact, this wasn't even the final version. This wasn't the first version of the song. I remember now. I changed it up a lot. Like, this wasn't the first instrumental that I did. I did one, and then I changed. I think the only part from the the original that I left was in the first verse, like halfway through the first verse, there was some change or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just go with what I feel at that moment. And then, sometimes depending on what the artist wants as well, if he feels like, okay, we should do this there, if it makes sense, then yeah, we just go ahead and do it.
Before I move on, I want to just let you know that towards the end of the song, when that pocket just drops out, oh my gosh. My heart, so you don't understand.
No. That was the last.
Go ahead.
Funny thing is, he didn't know about it too. So when I played, he came to the studio one time and I played it, and the thing stopped, and he was happy with where the song was, and then he came back on, and he was like, "Oh my god!" I think that was even, it probably happened by accident, and that's one of the reasons why I say, like, I really don't like people around me when I'm working. So I just think it probably I was probably trying to copy something, like it just cut a section of the song. Maybe you want to paste the instrumental somewhere, and so I probably just copied and pasted that part after maybe the instrumental. And there was, so maybe when you play, there's a lot of this happens so much. You do stuff by mistake, while you're working on the song, while you're mixing, you repeat something, you cut something and put it in the wrong place, and then you play it, and then you're like, okay, this could be something. That happens a lot. That happens. And so I think, I'm not very sure if that was a conscious thing that I thought about, or it was just a mistake that I recognized as, a genius.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so amazing. It's really amazing. I love that drop. Now let's quickly go on to Bad and Fuji. So you have this Migos refix that you did, Bad and Fuji. Can you talk quickly about what made you say, okay, I want to have all these different mashes of Migos, Styles, Olamide, One Day Cole, and Downfall Drivers?
It didn't start like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to do a wow, I'm not going to tell these people my plans. Nah.
I want to cast yourself.
So I wanted to do something. I wanted to do a remix. I like to put music out, but I never put music out, like with my name. So I was like, yo, I need to put something out ASAP. I was just really feeling like I needed to do something. So I like to do remixes. I never really make them as such. There's things that I just play with. So I'll just do like a small remix and just leave it on my computer, or just play it live on my instruments and stuff, So but this time I'm like, okay, let me even do something. And when I started the instrument, I got the acapella, started doing the instrumental, and I'm like, okay, where else I will go here, So I took that and put it in, and along the line, I think these things just come. They just happen. It was never planned. It was just a Migos remix at the beginning. But as I kept working, I just started having new ideas, or new ideas started coming to me. And it just happened. It just kept happening. So I did that. At some point, I'm like, oh, Where Don't Start would be a great transition here. I like transitions. I don't play with my transitions at all, because I'm a baby DJ, so I recognize the importance. So I just felt like, okay, this would be a great transition here. So I cut that and put it in. And then the Downfall Drivers thing, I really don't know where that came from, but I've been a huge, I cannot sing virtually every Downfall Driver.
Yeah.
But, so I think that just came to me too. I thought that part would work, and did it, and it didn't really work. So I just chopped until it did. And I was saying that I had finished the song early. I'd finished it. It was done, and I had finished it already before the One Day Call. I decided to try it, and it worked. So yeah, it came together nice. And also, I really, really like that song.
Were you bad?
I know. No. Bad and Fuji.
Oh, Bad and Fuji.
I really love it, man. I don't know why, but I really like it. I haven't heard it in a long time, so someone played it around me recently, and I'm like, yo, who did that? That's dope, yo.
So you were praising yourself on your own song. Is that what you said?
Oh, well, every now and then I should,
I was just trying to be clear. I like you a lot. I like people who you're like, my shit is dope, recognize this shit.
But I work hard, man. I mean,
No, it's good. Don't let, I always tell people, don't let people make you feel I'm like, why do you have a problem with the fact that I know that I'm fucking dope? Like, why is that? Shouldn't you be happy that I'm
Anyone has a problem with it, then that's their personal problem. I'm dope. I want
transformer. Yeah.
you understand.
Okay, cool. So before we wrap it up with you, I'm going to go on to the fun random questions portion. You ready?
I'm scared, but let's go.
Okay, cool. Okay, so if you were arrested, right, with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume that you had done?
Now, nobody even really knows anything about me.
So, what, an alien? Mokoko, like, I just exist, my friend.
Now they would be really surprised. But whatever it is, they would know I was innocent because I'm an innocent man. I'm always innocent.
Wow. Is that
That's two-faced. I'm very innocent.
Okay, so they wouldn't be able to pinpoint what exactly it was, but they would think that you're innocent, right?
So I don't think so.
Okay. All right, cool. Next question is, what two dream artists would you like to produce and engineer for, and why?
I would like to produce and engineer and kiss and marry.
We didn't get to that point. Oh, Rihanna. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll allow that. Rihanna is quite like me, so I will let that. So wait, but why Riri?
Now here's the thing about Rihanna, right? So before she became this bad girl that everybody loves because she's a bad girl, I think it's her voice, her tone, man. I love people like, I don't know, there's just so much you can do with a voice like that. It's, people say, oh, Rihanna can sing. And I'm like, that's the most ignorant thing I've heard in my life. Her voice is, you could make all kinds of records with a voice like that. You can make love songs, you can make dance songs, you can make any type of record. Like from when, that was what, 2005, with her first album, Love with that voice. I've just been in love with her voice. And then, now her personality, who wouldn't want to work with her? She's such a queen. And then number two would be, wow, this is tough, man. Number two, wow. This is quite tough. I think number two would be, wow. You know what? Let's come back to this question. I'm going to answer before we leave.
Okay, all right, cool. I will remind you, I don't think you're going to escape. All right, no cool. Problem. Okay, cool. Now, this was a random question that I thought about last night as I was trying to get some sleep. I was just thinking about, I wanted to ask, like, can you tell me 3 annoying statements that Nigerians like to ask as a sign that they care about you? Does that make any sense?
Go on, Mike. Go on, Mike.
Go on, Mary. How does that show that they care? That's just annoying. That one is just an annoying statement. It's not even about caring. It's just like mind your motherfucking business, people. But go ahead. Sorry?
It's for your own good,
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. Okay, no, but let me see. Okay, so to show that they care, nobody really cares about me, man.
This is. I'm quite sad because I feel like should we have a intervention for you? I think people care about.
People care about me.
Okay.
People care. Everybody loves me.
Because I'm like, I see your Instagram profile. Yes, I see like friends actually make comments. So it's like, call me. So I'm like, yeah, it seems like it's not.
No, it works. Like, oh, where's my track? Pick up your phone. You didn't answer my WhatsApp.
Okay. All right. So you said go on, Mary. What else? I said 3.
Have you eaten? It's not annoying.
Oh.
I think it's not annoying. It's the Nigerian way of caring.
Please.
So I don't mind that, especially because I don't eat. So yeah, that's very valid for me.
Okay.
I forget to do anything when I'm working.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't call that annoying.
One more.
Let me think. I don't know.
Okay.
So let me ask. I'm pushing that question back to you now.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, have you eaten is just super annoying. Like clearly I'm a human being, so I am going to eat during the course of the day. Clearly, so please, have you?
I mean, I'm not a human being because it
No,
happens.
no. For producers, honestly speaking, I see people. I'm like, your excuse. So that is a valid question. I have to even ask. I'm like, have you eaten? Okay, cool. So that one's fine. But for the average person, like, people, please get real. So have you eaten? Is one of them. The second one is, how was your night? People, I was sleeping, so I do not know how the night was. Like,
Now, this is the funny part. So, I used to ask that because I thought it was good manners. Until I asked one girl, and she cleared me.
I like that girl already.
She cleared me. And I've never, I think that was never again. I would never ask anybody.
It's just something.
And then,
go ahead.
Okay. Another thing I don't really like, but I think I've grown used to, I don't like when people say good morning to me. Like, you don't see me in the morning and say good morning. I'm not your dad, But I think, I don't know why. I don't like it. Well, I think now I'm used to saying it. To having people say it to me. And then now I think I say it to some people as well. But I just don't really like good morning. Like, it's so formal, man. Come on. You see me in the morning. I'm your guy. Why are you telling me good morning?
Yeah, I think it's just manners, though. I like people that have manners. I really do. Like, there's something about when you hold the door for people, they say thank you. Like, they say morning, they say afternoon, they say eat. It's just manners, I think, for me. But,
yeah, oh well.
Yeah, but you're a strange species, you're a producer, so we'll let that slide. That's perfectly fine. The third one that I hate is come and join me. What am I joining you? Like, why am I joining you to eat your food?
That's gross.
Like,
yeah. See, there's so many things. There's actually a lot of things because I honestly can't share a place. I've had to in awkward situations, but I don't like to share plates.
Yeah. Like
to eat the same plate with someone.
Yeah.
Actually, but I think here is seen as a sign of togetherness and.
But I could go on and on with that come and join me thingy, but that's just really So okay, before I go on to the other questions I have, because I'm trying to get you out of here before you start rolling your eyes at me. Who's the other artist that you want to produce for? Because you said Rihanna. Okay, then who's the other artist?
Okay, I'll say Kendrick.
Oh, okay. Why?
But man. I'm thinking there's a bunch of them. That's what I'm trying to pick.
Okay.
Like there's so many. There's Kendrick. I really, really need to work with Mavado before I die. I really need to work with Damian Marley before I die. I need to work with Stephen Marley before I die. I need to work with Okay, yeah, that's all for now.
Okay, that's all for now. All right, cool. Thank you for giving us 4 or 5. We thank God for that. All right. Now, what would you say is the worst name a Nigerian parent can give a child?
ECOWAS. Just go to the south. There's tons and tons of them. ECOWAS, government, henceforth. It's terrible. They don't. But then again, I don't know. We're very religious people.
Yeah.
We're very religious people. So I wouldn't shit on anyone's religion. Give your kids the names that. But just think about their future before you give name. I saw this thing. There was a girl they named Holy Ghost Fire. I don't know if it was circulating on Twitter some years back. Some young child. How would you do that to a child?
Yeah.
You named her. You actually named. It was on a health type document, and they named her Holy Ghost Fire. Why would you do that to a child?
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
no. I had that conversation with my mom 2 days ago. I'm like, I'm like, thank you for giving me Sade as
you have the coolest name ever,
I know I do.
Yeah, because I'm sure you get asked a lot of questions. If you tell someone your name, they're going to ask you questions immediately.
Yeah, they do. Or I have to correct it because in America they pronounce my name as Sade, and I'm like, no, it's actually Sade. Because they're trying to connect it to Sade the singer. I'm like, first of all, she's British, and second of all, the proper pronunciation is Sade. It's not Sade, but Sade sounds sexy. But okay. So yeah, but I agree with the whole name thing. But okay, so leads me to my next question. If you had to pick 3 Sade records to listen to forever, what records would those be?
Forever. Yeah. Yes.
I should guess. I think Smooth Operator would be there because I feel like that's like a staple for everyone.
Definitely. Cherish.
Okay, Cherish.
Cherish Today.
Okay.
Yo, can I pick more than 3?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay. Soldier of Love.
Okay, yeah, Soldier of Love is amazing.
I hate King of Sorrow. Yo, there's this one. Oh my God. Don't make me sing. I'm not going to sing.
Well, I
Never.
was about to, can you hum it? Like, can you just hum it? Because I can't sing as well. So we'll just be in this together. It's fine.
Please, I know. That's my one insecurity in my life.
Are you serious?
I have so much confidence in everything. But when it comes to my voice, oh my God.
I call auto-tune and it's not say, what's your to do this, making insecurity. Just auto-tune
No, I can't. Like, I just can't stand it. I cannot. I didn't tell you something now.
Okay.
Okay, so I actually wanted to be a rapper first.
Wow.
Right? Yes, I was making beats because they were cool. Like, I could just do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually wanted to be a rapper.
What was your rapper?
So that's when, I didn't even have one then.
Okay.
But yo, I was actually dope. Like, it's not even jokes, man. Because I saw something 05.
Spit some lines.
I told them insecure about my voice, man. That's why I stopped.
Voice and rap, 2 different things, uncle.
See, this is a big step for me, man. Have you seen any videos on my Instagram of me talking? I don't do that. I don't like it. I don't like my voice. I can't stand it.
And your voice is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I know you're just that. I'm on your show. What else did you say? Come on.
No, your voice is amazing. It reminds me of someone special. I'm just like, it's so cool. I like your voice. I like your voice.
Yeah,
nice.
Thank you. I don't believe you. Thank you.
Okay.
So I had a so I wanted to rap. So that's where the beats and trying to learn how to record and stuff came from. So the very first time I made this song called Super Chillin', right? Oh, that's what ended up as wow, life is so funny. Cause Pope's record, that was like my first production credit, the Enjoy song from back then.
Yeah.
The first line he goes, I'm super chilling, spitting these flows and blah 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 blah. Because the name of that beat was Super Chillin'. Because my first song that I tried to record, that I made the beat for and blah, 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 was called Super Chillin'. Yeah, but when I recorded it, my God, I heard my voice. I'm like, Jesus, I've missed it.
No, honestly, your voice is nice. You should have more videos on Instagram so that we can actually hear you as well. So we can know you beyond just the mixing and mastering guru and producer that you are. I want to hear you speak so that all your fan girls can be like, oh my gosh, like.
Oh, I love my fan girls.
Yes.
Everything my fan girls.
Okay. So Sade, so you already talked about Sade, and then final question is, you have to pick one, Xbox or PlayStation. Which one are you going with?
I have both, so I can't pick.
Okay. Wow.
I'm a gamer, man. Like, I'm a gamer. Yeah, that's another thing you might like to know about me. I'm a gamer. Cool. That's what. Yeah.
What games have you played recently?
If we're shooting, I'm good. If we're shooting Call of Duty, Battlefield, if we're shooting, I'm good. I don't like fantasy though. Shooting, so shooters and racers, I'm good.
Okay.
That's all I need. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, before we wrap it up with you, what projects are you working on and what should we expect from you before the year runs out?
Before the year runs out, I actually want to... Okay. So, there's a... Wow. I'm trying to catch myself. You know how they say think before you talk?
Yeah.
I start to talk and then I think.
It's okay.
And then I stop.
That's fine.
Yeah, because I don't know if I should say what. Yeah, so, but let me just be a generic person and say, have a lot more good days coming out for you before the end of the year. Stay tuned.
Okay. Yeah. Nigeria movie things. But that's cool. I'm definitely looking forward to all the different things you're going to be doing. Super excited for all you have to offer us. So in closing, can you give us your social media profile handle so that we can stay up to date with what you are doing for people who do not know how to...
Focusramon and everything. Focusramon, Focusramon together. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, which I never use by the way, but Yeah,
Which you
I'm
should
there.
be for your voice, right? So.
I spend all my time in the studio, so I think it get boring.
Yeah. No, but I think every now and then it's nice, like just to give people an insight, like like when you have Eva in the studio, like it'd be nice to just like see Eva once in a while. I'm on Snapchat, but people like who really want to know what you're.
Can you imagine? Wow, please, you can't tell me.
I feel like honestly speaking, even my Instagram profile is private. So I'm just like I'm so paranoid about social media. But you are a producer. It's a difference. Focusramon.
Yeah, I'm not a rapper though.
Sorry.
I said, but I'm not a rapper.
I know, but
we are behind.
Yeah, but I feel
No,
like
I know.
it would be nice just to like give that other side of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I just like I actually do that. I'm about to do a lot of stuff. I'm about to change up the entire operation. So I don't want to talk too much about it because I like to talk about it. But yeah, you're gonna see some major changes. Yeah, I'll keep you informed. I'll keep you informed.
Yes. That'll be. I'm serious. I'm looking forward to all you have to offer. But I want to just say thank you so much for being on the show, Focusramon. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Thank you. And thank you.
You're the only person that's doing this. That's great. That's really great work you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And so thank you so much to everyone for listening to this episode of the SNC podcast. I will be back in another 2 weeks with either a producer or a songwriter. Still trying to decide, but I'll be back with someone special for sure. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. That is produced by Sade Anozie and Tomiwa Pamumi. To ensure you don't miss subsequent episodes, you can follow the show on its various social media handles at TheSNCPodcast. So that's TheSNCPodcast. And that name is universal across Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, Facebook, iTunes, and Mixcloud. Alternatively, you can follow me on Twitter at Sade Nonconform.